everyone present here. Today we are gathered here for Alumni Interaction Series, Job Dynamics Work Culture of Current Era. I would like to welcome our Honorable HOD, Dr. S. Madam, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and thanks for giving us this opportunity. And we have our Joint Tester, Dr. V. Raj, sir, who was a mentor and a guide, and a warm welcome to our Chief Guest and a speaker, Mr.Arpan Bhagat, Engineering Manager at FVC Tokyo. Mr.Arpan Bhagat, Engineering Manager at FVC Tokyo, versatile DevOps engineering with 2.5 years of hands-on training, supporting autonomy and optimization critical development. Taking duration development skills, configuration management, and develop process to rise up quality. During 2008 to 2012, he studied BTech CSE at Dr.M.G.R University and he finished with MTech at IIT Bombay. In 2016, his first job in platform engineering at Yahoo, Japan, and at present, Mr.Arpan Bhagat, Engineering Manager at FVC Tokyo. I am inviting and requesting our Honorable HOD, Dr. S. Geeta Madam, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to speak to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome our Joint Registrar, Dr. V. Raj. He is a person as a HOD for today's guest, Mr. Arpan. Before I wanted to just tell something about Arpan. I wanted to give one quote which exactly suits for Arpan. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dream. This the quote which exactly suits for Arpan. He's the person is having always a goal, and he have a dream always, and he always walk and run fast towards to achieve the dream which he is having. And that's what which I have observed from Arpan during his days of studies at Dr.M.G.R and Educational Research Institute and in the Department of CSE. Really, I wish to just record my sincere thanks and appreciation to our proud alumni, Mr. Arpan, who has immediately accepted our request. And whenever we have, suppose we need an alumni bite or whatever it is, he is the first person just come and give a hands to us and join with us for any kind of one which we are expecting from an alumni. Normally students used to say these teachers are our pet teachers, because of them we are here and all. I just wanted to say in other word, Arpan is our pet student. So really, I feel honored to work with Arpan during the time of our grand event, which every year we used to host it at the Department of CSE, the Tekastram. By the time only I studied about Arpan. Such a humble man and hardworking guy. He always have a... he used to just identify the path which suits for him and all. That only makes him to be such a height today. Over a period of time, I used to just tell about our to our students as well as to our to our family members. Our student has done this MTech course at IIT Bombay. And we cannot say where we are studying is not a matter, but what we have learned from there is a matter. So today, just Arpan has proved that, and then over a period, then we told Arpan, one of our students is working in Yahoo. Every parent is coming and asking about, you just tell about your student who are all working in where. Means the first one which I say, yes, our students are working in Yahoo, Microsoft and all. Today, just yesterday, by seeing his designation, really I was very, very happy about. He had a own company. He started a startup at Tokyo and all. Super Arpan, all the best. I wish you have to achieve more and more in your life, and just your all dreams should come true. Yes. So with this, I don't want to take much of your time, and I hope you are the role model for the today's viewers. Viewers are our students, current final year, third year, and second year students. your talk should just kick them and make them to be move ahead and achieve more and more on their life. With this note, they really have to thank Arpan for accepting our request and just going to give an address to our student. Thank you, Arpan. And
Thank you, ma'am.
after this pandemic period, once if you get a chance to visit to Chennai, please visit our university,
You don't
visit
have to
our
say.
department. Yes, and no need to tell you anyway, you will be coming here, no doubt on it. But if you get a chance, you just visit us. With
Soon.
this, I'll just request our Joint Registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj to address us.
Um, Thanks, Dr. Gita, the head of department of computer science, for giving such a wonderful opportunity uh, to interact with my one of my best friend during those days. Mr. Arpan is the resource persons for today's interaction with the students. Really, uh, Dr. Gita already spoke a lot of things about Mr. Arpan. I second it. Uh, to add a few more points uh, onto that, you know, during the study uh, about, I'm talking about that particular batch and then their seniors and as well as their juniors. Uh, the department, we used to be very receptive towards the students. Receptive in the sense we love interacting with them. Their ideas are being accepted. We never dictate terms with them. So actually, we know what is the strength of our students. So we literally allow the students to um, develop their qualities in certain aspects. Clear, we were very strict with them. I think when Arpan and then their team they proposed that Tekastra. I think. Do you remember Arpan?
Yes, sir. It was, yeah, it was a lot of efforts. I remember.
Yeah, that's what actually. We didn't put much effort on that occasions. But anyway, that was a brand activity for our department at the time. The students were given full freedom to decide, but actually we were only, guiding them. So beyond that, actually we didn't interfere in that. You should do point number one, point number two, point number three, something like that. So we didn't do like that. But actually we have given in certain aspects. Actually, we are very strict. One of the aspects is uh, for urban batch. Even from the previous batch onwards, here we were insisting the students to get international certification. Am I correct, Arpan?
Yes, sir. I remember.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember that.
So when we insisted on that, there was some representation from students community. Why you are forcing us to sit for such international certification programs? It is not associated with any of our curriculum requirements. Yeah. Then obviously, there are a lot of resistance also, but we didn't relent from that particular stand. We were insisting that at least 3 4 certifications should be obtained by our students because we know we are not from the tier one institutions like IIT or NIT, but actually our desire is to know here how possible we can make our students to have a holistic, what is this development, so that let them land on to the top-notch jobs. So, like as already Dr. Geeta said, Arpan is a standing example for that. Now, yes, mostly international companies like Microsoft, IBM, or Yahoo, or whoever it is, they won't come to institutions like M.G.R University straight away. But during that period itself, we had that particular notion in our mind. So that if we enable the students' community with all these sort of knowledge, skill set, Now, definitely nobody cannot stop them because it is it is their knowledge as well as their ability to endure all these sort of pressure will definitely elevate them to the maximum level. So this is what actually we did at the time. So my request to young students who are listening to this conversation, please, in the interest of you, when we take some decision, so listen to us as what actually these people have listened to us. So definitely your future will be even better. Now, just now with the conversation with the Arpan, we come to know that no, he has developed his own company in a foreign soil. So it needs a lot of guts. Yeah, so definitely. Unless nuclear, we adapt to that the local language, local culture, and then get into local people, and then making a business there in that particular community nuclear. Totally. Which are not related to our way of what is it? The living nuclear. It is really painful, but he has done enough. He has undergone all these pain to create such a organization. So we have to learn. In fact, this is also learn lesson to me also. How what is the type of approach that actually we have to use towards learning a foreign language. I think knowing this only, when we changed our curriculum, in fact, we made all of you to compulsorily study one of the foreign language. Arpan, when we made seven foreign language list, so students here they have to sit for any one of the foreign language.
Okay,
So we
that's
brought
great.
that as a credit, part of the credit itself. So they cannot miss this particular credit. So this is how actually we are slowly learning lessons from people like you, and then we are trying to impose it to your juniors. So thanks, Arpan, for being with us here. You have to. It is that time that you have to handhold us. At one point, sometimes we were hand holding you, but now you have grown to the level that actually you have to handhold us and then your juniors to the next height. So with this, I thank Arpan. I pray for him for his future. So definitely, within another decades, clear his organization, everything, clear will be well known to the world community. So with this, once again, I thank the Department of Computer Science for arranging such a wonderful, nice personality to interact with our students. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Now I am requesting Mr. Arpan Bhagat to take over this session.
Okay. All right. Hello everyone. I hope you don't get bogged down by all the things that Cyril sir and Geeta ma'am had to say. It's just their way of showing their love, but I feel very differently. I might be able to share that with you. Anyway, so I have made a small presentation. Let me. Okay. Let me see. Right. So, are you able to see the presentation now?
Yeah, you can
Yes, ma'am.
proceed.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So, um, yeah. So this topic says something about job dynamics and stuff, but this is more like my personal experience of um, how I have come to a place where I don't know if you define it as a success or not, but yeah, you can call that. So I will try to share my experience throughout the last 8 or 9 years that I have faced, and let's see if it can help you guys. So I'll get into it. Um, so this has been already introduced by the teachers, the professors. So not much to share here. It's just that this line, the third line, is the technology that I'm working on, and this has some relevance to the one of the points that I want to share later. So yeah, so basically I had finished some of the as in some of the technology that I wanted to learn. So these are the things that I really feel can be used by many people. So I just wanted to put that here. And this is kind of my timeline, how it had been from 2008. I spent 4 years at MGR, just like you guys. And there were some key takeaways, as in, how do I put it? I mean, I don't know if this is formal or not, but in the times when I was a student there, I believe that there were different kind of people in my batch in the college itself, and they had different kind of thinking. But one thing that I really learned from there was what not to do. Usually, what we'll try to learn from someone is what to do, right? We always ask like, how to do this? What should I do? I want to pass this exam. What should I do? These are the normal questions, but one thing that I learned from my time at MGR was what not to do, because I could see a few bad examples, and I promised myself that okay, I'm not going to go into that category, and I suppose that thought really stuck with me, and it still is. So yeah, that was my takeaway. And Cyril sir has talked about Tekastra, so I don't know if you know about it, but it was a pretty big deal back then. So it's a symposium kind of event where we like organized an event and invited people from all over the country, and basically this was scrapped in the third year. We tried that, but we could not get it through because of many issues, and then we redid it in fourth year, and it was some sort of success, I believe. So yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, I did my masters from IIT Bombay, 2 years. Learned a lot of things there. I believe that it was a really great platform, and I feel really lucky that I had a chance to go there. And I remember that I think in third year, so there used to be visits from Cyril sir to each of the classes, and he would say that you have to understand that. So there was this word he used, elite. So he said that there are elite institutes and there are some other institutes, and we don't fall into elite institutes. And I did not understand that idea back then, but after I went to IIT Bombay, I sort of understood okay what he wanted to say. So there is a huge difference. Maybe I'll talk about it later, but yeah, I'm really thankful that I got an opportunity to go there and learn so many things. And after that, as everyone said, I got my first job at Yahoo Japan. I spent around 4 years there. It was all good. It's a huge corporate chain, and there are a lot of teams. I was part of one of the small teams. The good part is that it's a stable company and it is a good brand, and there are perks of being into a corporate job. But I felt that the learning was a little slow because I had sort of got that hunger from here, from IIT Bombay, but then that was taking some toll. So I decided to move on to something else, and I got an opportunity in a startup. As in, I had like one of the managers who moved out before me. He had an idea, and then we discussed about it, and I said, "Yeah, we can do that." And then now I'm working in that startup. It's a risky thing because given the pandemic situation, things have changed. The idea that we had initially, it's many parameters has changed, but I still believe that we have a lot of potential. And speaking about potential, there is one more thing that I want to share later. So yeah, please remind me if I forget. So okay, and that's the brief thing. Now let's talk about you guys. How do I say this? So we were exactly where you were, maybe in second year, third year, final year, and there were a lot of questions. There were a lot of uncertainties. I don't know if you know this or not about MGR history. When we were in the college, we sort like there was some sort of accreditation thing that was going on, and it was really bad time. As in, we also had some sort of uncertainty that college will be closed, but luckily it did not. But yeah, we had faced that kind of thing, and thanks to the administration there, they stood really strong and still made it through, even though there were so many difficulties. So what I want to say is that there are always multiple options from wherever you are. For example, if you think about career options, you have like you can say that okay, there are multiple options, and I wanted to talk about majorly these four options, standing from your standpoint. So you could either go for higher studies, do a job, look into entrepreneurship, or get into a PSU job. So all of these have really good perks, but to set a goal like this, you need to be really clear about, like, you need to have a really clear thinking about what you want to do with yourself. So I had got placed into HCL when I completed my course from MGR. We had campus recruitment around uh, like 11 or 13 people had been selected into HCL, and I was one of them. I was really happy. It was a good job given the fact that we are not from IIT, and we don't have to run into companies for interviews. So I was really happy. But then, due to some circumstances, HCL kept us on bench and did not give us the joining. I remember that. So I waited for a year, and they still said that okay, you can join after 6 months. And that's when I decided, okay, let's try something else. Because yeah, so there's an exam called GATE, through which you can get into admission if you want to take masters. And the target is colleges like IIT and NIT. So to be honest, this was not my first time. When I was in third year, final year, many people were preparing. Our seniors used to do, and few of the seniors had cracked that. So we sort of have the hope that okay, we can do it too. And I tried that time in the final year, but I could not focus much. And more than that, I think I did not know how to do it. That was the issue, than focus. Because I remember staying long hours in library, like even after my classes were over, I was there sitting with other friends and trying to study. I remember that. But for some reason it did not click and I could not get through. But this time, I had an option to go for this job or study for this, and I resigned this job, the HCL job, and studied for this. And yeah, it all went well thanks to all the blessings from so many people. A little bit of hard work, I got into IT, and that's the story. So what I want to say here is that you will always have multiple paths to think about, but you cannot, speculate in a sense that in terms of probability. Okay, maybe probably I can do that. Maybe probably I can do that. No, that's not gonna work. So you have to really think carefully, think straight, and when you want to decide something, you have to decide something. So I could have stayed with this job and like studied for the masters side by side, like keeping my chances still open here. But if I had done that, then I don't have the fear of failure. So I thought that was necessary, and luckily that paid off. So these are the two prospects that you can look into. There is entrepreneurship, which I'm going to talk about later, and then PSU. If you crack GATE, you have the chance to go into PSU. And why I say GATE, because GATE is not just to get into a prestigious college like IIT. It opens you up with so many possibilities. PSUs is like the golden companies of India, IOCL, BHEL, all the big companies who pay you lot of money, and there is a lot of respect for the people who work there, and there are so many facilities that you can look forward to. So if you want to plan for that, you can ask me any questions about that. But if you want to plan for that, the ideal time would be from third year. For second year people, it would be a little difficult because the course syllabus is not, how do I say, it does not match to the knowledge level that you have gained till second year. So you guys should wait till third year. But yeah, third year people should definitely give it a try, and that's my one suggestion to all of you. Right, and so there are some things about higher studies as like so I have talked about it already, but I believe that when someone says that it's a brand, it means that it's not just because it has a name. It actually gives you some values. So it's a huge platform and it has a lot of exposure. So I know people who went into IIT and then dropped right out of it and went into an acting career. So if you know about that movie, what's that? The suicide movie in which Sushant Singh Rajput acted. So there was that thin guy who was really thin, and he played a comic role, and he's from my batch. Not exactly my batch, but I mean in the same year than I was, and in a different department. But that guy dropped out of IIT, and it's not because he did not like studying or IIT is bad. It's just because he had an exposure of that kind where he could develop the skill that he wanted. So he went into that field and he's doing great now. He's a bigger name than like any one of us can really think about. So his name is Ranjan, and yeah, he's a great actor. So you can look into that. And obviously, if you go into a place like this, you have chances to get into dream jobs. You just name the company: Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Yahoo, any place. So if what I want to say is that, I mean, obviously everyone wants this, right? You being a student, you want to get a good job. You want to get into a place where everyone can look up to you, where people praise you. But just thinking about it won't help. So if you really want to do it, you have to set a goal, and there are a few ways to do it. I mean, I don't know if those are right ways or wrong ways, but that's how I did it. So I would like to share some insights about that later. So I hope this gives you a little bit of motivation why you should look into higher studies. When people say that, okay, you can go for higher studies, you should not like think of it as just another sentence. It's something really to think about. And if you have a goal like that, you should consult people and make a proper goal as to how you want to achieve that, and that would be really wonderful for your career. And the other aspect is obviously doing an engineering job. The work life has changed right now. It's all work from home. There are so many good things. Shorter work weeks. If you are following news that Microsoft has kept the work week to 4 days now, not 5 days. And there are other companies also who are following the suit. So that kind of thing has started coming in, and it will start soon for other smaller companies as well, I believe. So yeah, those kinds of things are could be the motivation for you if you like to start early into the earning phase. Yeah, you should look for a job. Obviously you should prepare for that. And I believe that so in college we take around 64 courses, and like over the 4 years, so many classes, so many courses. But the definition of engineer says that okay, you should know everything. That makes sense, but I think that for getting a job you don't have to know everything. You can focus on some specific skills which are in demand. For example, when we were studying, the most popular language was Java, and JavaScript had just started to get popular back then. And a few people from my batch were learning that language, and they were really good, and they are doing wonders now. One of my friends has their own startup, and I'll tell about that later too. There are so many links here anyway. So yeah, the key idea here is that you don't have to master everything. You can pick only some of the skills which are required right now. You have to proactively look into the market. Talk to your seniors, maybe talk to the people who are in the field and get some idea as to what is needed, and just focus on that, and that will lend you a job definitely. And on that note, wait, yeah, so some of the skills that I feel now is really relevant, and not just now, like in coming 10 years at least, uh, it's data science. And when I say data science, even I don't know what that includes. It's a large field. And but one thing that I know is going to stick for at least 5 years from now is Python language and big data. So if you know this language, you have I don't know, countless amount of opportunities that you can go and ask for a job to any company. And if you can prove that you know this language, yeah, they'll give you a job definitely. So that's one thing. And the other thing is this might be a little advanced, but I'll tell you. In I don't know if this is part of the curriculum now. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'll ask Geeta ma'am later. But learning about cloud is really necessary now, because back then when we were studying, the idea of creating a web server was owning a server through GoDaddy or something, or maybe hire a space under some cloud provider, not cloud provider, data center provider, and that's how we used to open services. But now the paradigm has shifted, and it's all in cloud. And it would be really good if someone can take this as a suggestion, and if this can be added into the curriculum, one of the courses, if it is. So I cannot even start to think like any job which I see here when an opening comes into LinkedIn, which does not require this. That's how important it is. I mean, it's not like, okay, it's in some of the job, it's in all the jobs. So cloud technology, you can study about AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, or you can study about Azure, which is cloud platform provided by Microsoft. And there are a lot of free courses, a lot of documentation that you can go through. um, I don't know, these skills are really necessary, but so if I ask someone like, how do you want to acquire a skill? I don't think many people, even me, when if I think about myself at your place in third year, final year, and if someone had asked me, okay, how are you going to acquire a skill? I had no idea back then. I had no idea, really no idea. But now I know. Now I know how to do that. So if it is Python, you just go and take a very preliminary course. Go and look into the documentation. Just learn the syntax, very basic syntax, how to print something. That's all you need to do. And then go and start a project, very small project. Build a calculator, maybe build a to-do list, and things like that. And you will have countless number of issues. Mm, Most of the learning that I have done is not from like building a successful product or like running something successfully. Obviously, we do that sometimes, time to time, and those are lucky times. But most of the times we run into bugs, and that's where the real learning happens. So if you want to learn something, it's not as Cyril sir was saying that we should look into certifications. Yeah, that's right. But why do you do the certifications? You do the certification because you spend some time on learning that skill, and when you do that, you try to make something and you make mistakes, and that's the actual reason. So when someone says that, okay, you have to do the certification, it's not because they want your money or because you have to get the tag. No, it's because of this skill. You are focusing on that. You have to get that skill, right? So to do that, you don't focus on the certification or the money that is going to get spent on that. I know from your standpoint, because I was there, right? I know that. So from my standpoint at your age, okay, yeah, why should I spend more because I'm already paying so much for the college? Yeah, that makes sense, right? But that's how the world is. You have to have a degree right now. If I had to change one thing in the world now, I would like stop this degree culture, because there are things that you can learn directly from many resources in the current world. Go to the YouTube and you have like thousands of lectures and everything, and you can learn all of that. But if 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 there is a certified way to do that, if there is a structure to it, if someone says that, okay, if you do this certification you can acquire a skill, yeah, that's an option. You should look into that. And yeah, that's all. That's what I wanted to say. And there is one quick tip that I have written here: power of multiplication. So I earlier said that you don't have to know all the things, but you should know many things, like many smaller things, and not all the things. So why that is powerful? Because when you go into a job interview, for example, and you say that, okay, I know Java, they'll be like, okay, yeah, it's good. They will ask you some questions, maybe give you an algorithm to solve. You might be able to solve it. That gives you a good chance, because yeah, you just answered all the questions that they wanted, right? But then there'll be a next candidate who has written like, okay, I know Java, Django, Python, and maybe Bash, something like that. He has like 4 things written in his resume. And at that point, it's not easy for the interviewer to ask everything in detail in all those 4 things, right? Because you have limited time. There are so many people, and there are practicalities. So at that time, it becomes an advantage for that guy who has written 4 things in his resume. You should not lie, obviously. You don't put something on your resume that you don't know. But yeah, if you know it, you have to put it into that. And what it does is like, if you have one thing, it's like 10, say 10 points for that. But if you have 2 things, it's like 10 into 10. It's like 100, because now from interviewer's point of view, it's harder for him to track all of that. And if it is 3, it's like 10 into 10 into 10. It's 1,000 already, as in points wise. And now the interviewer has to look into 3 different fields, and he has to assess all that into like 20, 30, 40 minutes, the time of interview. So that's why it is necessary to pick skills and pick specific skills and like put it into your resume. If it is via certification, do that. If it is via YouTube video series, do that. If it is via book, like how we used to do, nowadays nobody uses books. Yeah, so but we used to follow standard books. So yeah, do that. Whatever suits you, but get those skills. These are necessary. There is ML and AI. I don't want to talk about it. I am not very well versed about this, but I know that like it is one of my regrets actually. When I was in IIT Bombay, I enjoyed my time. I played. I learned music. I studied. I don't know. I mean, everything everything that was offered there, I did that. But uh, in BTech, you have a fixed curriculum, right? You have a fixed number of courses that you can do, and then you pass. But in MTech, as in, you can choose your courses. And nobody was there. Like, I did not have seniors, or nobody put it into my head that ML would be so necessary. It would be such a boon for me if I could learn that. And I did not know that. I was impervious to that fact, and I did not learn that. Actually, I did not take that course, and I regret it today. I am trying to learn that now. Like, try to take some time out in weekends. My wife is also working here, so we make like some time to learn this. But I feel it is really hard now because people have moved so forward ahead of me, and that's when I think, if what if I did not learn anything when I was in my masters, like not just ML, nothing, then it would be really hard for me to like stand here, because all the people who were back with me had moved so much ahead that it would be really hard to catch up. And you guys still have the time to do that. I don't know how you manage your time, but I'll talk about that again. But um, yeah, that's one thing that you need to really understand, that if someone is telling you, someone who has seen life more than you, is someone telling you that, okay, you can, giving you an advice which is not for him but for you, maybe you can spare a thought and take some time out to think about it. Maybe it will be helpful. I'm not saying that, okay, take all the advices from all the people. That's bad. Obviously, that's bad. But if someone is trying to help you, trying to give you some advice, take a time, like take 2 minutes and think, okay, if it is going to help me or not. And if it fits the bill, then yeah, please go ahead with it. So that's the importance of skills. And wait, okay. Yeah, and this is just a graph, very simple graph. So this is in 2020. I pulled that off from LinkedIn search. You can see, right, Python, you have like what, more than 150,000 jobs just for this skill. Suppose if you know Python, Linux, and HTML, then you are open to like more than 4 lakh jobs. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not very difficult. People have done it. My seniors did it. People from my batch did it. People just after me, my juniors are still working in good places and they did it. So you can do that too. We can always blame that, okay, we are not at the right, um, how do I say, we don't have the right facilities, or the circumstances are not good. Yeah, we can always do that. But what we can also do is acquire skills, look into our goals and set those and try to achieve them. Yeah, we can do that too. And all I'm asking you guys is to, pick 3 or 4 skills out of this. You have, for third year people, you have 2 years. For final year people, you still have 1 year, which is like 365 days. And I think for learning Python, you only requires 30 days. So I don't know if that doesn't motivate you, what will? But I hope this does, and that's all you have to think about. So just try to remember this. Maybe someone will share these slides with you for later reference, but you can look into these kind of things. If you think about these things, then it will happen. If you don't want to think about these things, it's not going to happen. So I'm sorry if I'm being too direct here, but these are the only ways you can go into successful careers. So sorry for being a little rude here. Right. And I wanted to talk about entrepreneurship earlier. So why should we do it? Because there is a lot of scope. Population, it's there, the demand, it's there. For example, if you look into the startups now, it's mostly based on services. For example, if you want to order something, yeah, you have an app for that. If you want to order a wine, you have an app for that. You don't go out for ration anymore. There is what, grofers or big basket and apps like that. So the service industry is never going to go down in terms of demand. If you have an idea, you can try to implement that. But obviously, why? Okay, so why did I put it after skills? Just having the idea is not going to work, right? If you don't have the skills. So that's why it's important to acquire the skills. If you want to go into a job, yeah, please go ahead. It's a good career path. You grow, you get to get manager, you get to interact with so many people. Yes, you can do that. But if you have the skills, you can always go into this space. You will be independent, and there'll be a lot of challenges, but it would be really exciting. So I am working for a startup now, and I don't know. I mean, when I was at Yahoo, I had to work only for 7 hours 45 minutes. That was fixed 7 hour 45 minutes, and it's not like Indian 7 hour 45 minutes where you go for chai and samosa after 1 hour. You don't do that. You have to really put in like each minute. You have to be accountable for all of that. Even if you go for like, I don't know, some 30 minutes of personal work, you have to register that somewhere. So yeah, I had that, but now I'm working for this new idea, and it it takes away my nights, it takes away my days. I stay up late till 12, and then I wake up early in 6, and I am still working on, I'm stuck on some silly problem that I cannot figure out. I'm asking my friends, like, I don't know, shamelessly, because like you don't ask silly questions to your friends or people who are doing good. That's the notion. But I don't feel shame in that sense, because eventually it's going to give some benefit to me. I'm going to pick a new skill in that sense. So yeah, I don't have that kind of shame. No matter how silly the question is, I just go and ask. Like that has always been with me. Even though people make fun of me, yeah, I don't care about that, because eventually I get a new skill, a new solution. So that really helps. So yeah, the why do you want to do it? I would say, why don't you do it? So that's my thing. And wait, there's one more. Where do you want to do this? India is the biggest place. Although I am doing the work in Japan now, because there are some personal issues that I don't want to talk about. But ideally, I would like to move back to India, and there are a few ideas that I'm really interested to work on. And it's not all about IT or technical. Uh, there is an idea about agriculture that I have had for last 2 3 years, and I would really love to implement that. But currently, I have some other goals that I need to focus on. So after that, I'll move back to India and do my startup again. So yeah, I hope if we can get into contact, then sometime we can talk about it later. There are the fields are many. Medical, there are, so I talked about services, right? People always require one or other kind of service. So, and there are a lot of lazy people who don't want to do their own work. So they want to hire someone. They are willing to pay you money to do that. For example, when I was in college, and I was a very lanky guy. Like, I was really thin, and I wanted to improve my physique. So I started working out, as in started running. My roommate used to run a lot, so I started doing that. And I remember, like, back then, when you wanted to get fit, some people would go to gym, obviously, who can afford, they went. But people like me who did not have a lot of money, we had like monthly constraint as to how much we can spend, uh, like pocket money, that it was limited for us from my parents. So we did not afford gym. So I used to run and work out and things like very very basic exercises, home workouts and stuff like that. And now I see that people are paying to do that, as in paying that to do that as a service. If you have heard of Cult, it's a very big platform, not platform, it's a very big enterprise who targets specific people from IT field, youngsters who are earning good. And because it's a very well thought of idea, it's a really nice startup. And I won't say it's a startup anymore, it's a successful venture. So they really put that idea into place, and now people are paying to do the running, right? That I used to do for free, and now even I do it now for free. So, but that's what I wanted to say. There are a lot of lazy people, and it's just a single idea that you can think of, which can get attention from a lot of people, and you can start working on that idea and make it your living. So that's where you should focus if you are looking into this. And how? This is a difficult question. No one knows. Startup means so many different things for everyone. It's like people say that it's dream, or I don't know. It's just because they can be millionaire or something like that. uh, for startup, like for acquiring a skill, there is a specific path. You have to put in your time, you have to put in your effort, and you can acquire the skill. But for making a startup successful, there is no fixed path. That's the irony. There are successful startups, but there are plenty of unsuccessful startups. So I cannot tell you more about this, but one thing that I can really tell you is, if you don't know how to be a successful person in startup, you can ask Shank Shubra Ghosh. And now you will go like, okay, who is this guy? Such a long spelling. So this person was a batchmate of mine, and he was a phenomenal guy. Uh, I don't know if it makes sense, but I'll tell you a very small anecdote. When we were in final year, everyone was preparing for getting a job. I did too. I got a job. Shankha, he was, oh, so his short name is Shank. So he was working on a startup, and I was also involved in that startup, but not like committed fully because, yeah, I came from a very not a very rich background, so I had like that kind of mentality that I should get a job so that I can support my family and things like that. So I could not commit completely, but he did commit it. And I remember that in final year he had a job to work in. He got an offer to work in US, and the salary package was 25 lakhs, or I think 22 lakhs, whatever, like 22 to 25 lakhs. And this was his words, market. He said that no, I am not taking your offer, and see you in market. And to have such a confidence, oh, I was so blown away, blown away by that guy. I mean, to have such guts to turn down an offer of 25 lakhs in 2000, we are talking about 2011, 2012 then. And he did that right in front of me, my friends Mrinmoy Roy, like who is still involved in this startup. So there are people like Shank who cracked the code, um, who figured out how to do this. They went apart from the usual route, and they have defined their own success story. People don't talk about people like Shank because they don't try to go into limelight, but I think these are the people after whom you should go if you want to ask something. So always go for people who have already been in the field, and like ask questions, ask silly questions. So this is just one guy, right? There are n number of guys out there in India. You can find contacts in LinkedIn who are starting their own ventures. Go and look into their products and see how they have built it. Ping them, and most of these guys are really helpful because they know how hard it was for them. Nobody was there to support them, so they will support you. So yeah, find people like Shank, and you can ask them how to do this. Not me. I'm just still starting. So, but yeah, people like him. And obviously it requires a lot of efforts, a lot of skills, but it would be really fruitful. So please do look into that. And having said all about higher studies, job circle, and the entrepreneurship space, there are a few, how do I say, not the tips, but I don't know how I pick these things, these values, but these values really help me move forward. I get down many times, the confidence goes away, but I always try to remember the points that I'm going to share with you now. So I hope these are helpful for you. Right, the mindset. Um, can we? Oh, okay, I don't know. So if it had been an interactive session, then it would have been really easy because I could have asked some questions. But anyway, so if when I said that we have to get a skill, like acquire a skill, what's the first thing that you think? Okay, if it is Python, then yeah, you have to study something or maybe buy a book or start studying through a YouTube series. But do you do that? That's the question. The first step. Um, Studying for gate is not easy, mind you. It requires like for a guy like me who is not very smart. I know that for a fact because I know people who are way much smarter than me. Shank is one of those people. um, I'm not smart, but to be able to crack that exam, I had to really put in effort, like 6 hours of study, 8 hours of study. I did that, and it's not just a sentence that I'm telling to you. It was actually 8 hours a day, every day. But how did I get that? I cannot, okay, let's do something, and okay, let's start this, and put in 8 hours just like that. You cannot do that. There's always the first step, which is the minimal step. If you want to learn Python, if you want to look into a YouTube series, you have to go and look into the introduction first, and then they'll be like, okay, these are the how do I say the syntax things, and then that is how the class is defined, and oh, these are the rules that you have to follow when you want to build a robust code or a robust program. So many principles that come along. So okay, all of that is there, but where is the first step? So the importance of first step is I don't know how I can emphasize more, but you will always have to take the first step. Otherwise, a, anything that like we always make goals, but if this is missing, then yeah, it is not going to get achieved, no matter what you do. So this needs to be done. You have to set the goals, and uh, Do you know about this word Kaizen? Someone, please, someone answer this. I want, even the coordinators can answer, please. Do you know about this word Kaizen? Hello.
Yeah, Arpan.
Oh, okay, right. I thought, okay. So I was asking this to the coordinators who are here, the student coordinators. So do you know about this word Kaizen? Have you ever heard of this word?
So Srinidhi, Kiran, Rangareddy will be
No,
con-
sir.
Okay, so when I was in college, there was a Xerox shop outside of our college, which was, yeah, which was our go-to place. You know about files, right? The lab files and everything, and you have to print that. I don't know if it is there now, but yeah, that used to happen a lot. Taking
still
out
there,
notes.
still there,
Okay,
Arpan.
okay, it's still
So
there.
it's a
Okay,
Japanese word.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a Japanese word, true. But
Continuous effort to better our skills,
yes,
improve our
exactly,
skills.
exactly. So when I was in college, I did not know what that meant. I just thought that okay, it's something, I don't know, some fancy word. I did not know. But after coming here, I learned about this, and it's just so ironical that I had the knowledge of this word. I knew this word existed, but I did practice that for 6 years, and then I really understood its meaning after coming here. So you guys are still 6 years ahead of me because I understood the meaning of Kaizen very late. As in, yeah, I did practice it, which, as someone said now, it's continuous upskilling, continuous practice. That's what it means. But oh wait, what happened? Oh yeah, right. So, um, but yeah, that's the Xerox shop, and it's really funny. But I think that the idea is not funny. Uh, Kaizen means continuous upskilling, and it is one of the traits. It is one of the mindset that you really need to develop. Um, there is one more thing: the application. You learn something, you have to apply. Obviously, you have to do that. Otherwise, you won't have the confidence. Um, so this happened with me a lot of times. It happens with me now. I read about something, a new thing that is required for building the product. I read about it, and then I go ahead and talk with my teammates, and then I'm not able to explain that properly, even though I put in some effort. I tried to read about it, but it's very hard for me to explain it to them just because I did not um, put my hands, like, I did not do a hands-on thing on that. So the application was missing, and once I have done the application, it is very easy for me to imagine about what were the issues and how exactly the concept is, and then try to explain it to my teammate. It becomes really easy, and this will happen very late in your career, as in after you get into job after 1 year. But for the job interview, why this is needed? Because if you have learned something and if you have applied it somewhere, then you don't have to remember it. It will come automatically when you are trying to explain something. So yeah, this is why it is very very important to apply. If you do a certification, build something. If you do a YouTube series on learning something, build something. Do that, and then you will have that confidence to explain it to someone else. So that's necessary. That's the mindset. And the truth is, why how can you build the mindset? You need a lot of motivation. uh, Everyone, I don't know if you look into, like, Facebook or social media, everyone is talking about motivation and thing, but it means so many things to so many people. But I believe that it's a cause for which you are living. For example, um, I told you, right, gate, like applying for gate was not the first time success for me. It came around after second time. So the first time around when I appeared for it and I could not clear it, I was sad. Obviously, I was sad, but more than that, my parents were sad. And before that, I don't remember any time when I wanted to, like, do something in good in studies or anything. I was always able to, like, pass that. I never failed, as in, also in MGR, I never failed any test or anything like that. But this failure was really a big one, and not just because it felt bad for me. I could see the disappointment in my parents' face. So that was the trigger for me, and that is the reason I resigned the HCL thing, and I like clearly said that okay, I do not accept, I reject your offer, and I'll go into this line because um, I want to see something else on my parents' face, and that was the motivation for me. And it does not have to be same thing for you. For people who are into like looking into startups, they have different motivation. There could be financial motivation, like if you are thinking into financial terms. It could come out of your relationships. Even though you are just students, you should not get involved into many complicated things. Maybe I'll talk about that later too. But yeah, if so, you need to find a cause which with which you can decide your goals, and find that. And if you have that, then you don't need anything else. The driving force will come by itself. And this fear of failure, yeah, this has to be there. Um, I don't know how to explain this. I mean, I really don't know how to explain this, but this has to be, this has to be with you if you want to do something new, or I mean not new, but if you want to do anything, this has to be with you. I don't know how to develop that, but I am always fearful. Even for this session, when I said that okay, I will do this session, I was afraid that how I am going to talk to you guys. I know this is like sharing my own experiences, and it's not like something that I have studied, or it's not coming out of a book or something like that. But I was really afraid how would I do that. So I don't know how it is going along if you are understanding what I'm trying to say, but having that kind of feeling really like it makes you nervous, but when you overcome that, you become confident. So that's the beauty of it. It's a negative thing to have, but once you, it's just a threshold that you have to cross. If you cross that, yeah, you are in the positive phase, you are in the confident phase. So that's why it's important to have it. And this is one thing, one time. So uh, I mean, if you remember your childhood, someone would have said that study once in your board for your board exams, and then it would be really good because you can get into science and you'll have good exams and stuff like that. And then when you are in your 12th class, again your parents said that just study for these boards and everything will be good after that, and that is all that is required from you. And then you went into your engineering, and teachers are telling you to just study now once so that your afterlife will be good. You can get a job and earn and support your family. So I believe that it's okay to not do good in your 10th. It's okay to not do good in your 12th, and it's even okay to not do good in your after your BTech. Even if after your BTech you don't get a job, it's okay. It's still okay. You still have time. But in life, there is going to be one time where you'll have to put in your 100%. That has to be there somewhere. I don't know when. If you do it in your BTech, it is really good. People do that. My friend Shank did that, and he's in a really good place. I did not do that, like really good at that time. But I did that after it. I made up for that. I prepared for gate well, and I put my 300% there, not just 100%. So there has to be one time in your life where you have to give it, like really give it all, without thinking about anything else. If you do this, like, so why parents were telling like okay, do good in 10th and things would be easier for you, because if you would have done really well, then you would have developed that attitude of always studying, or not always studying, but understanding things. And same applies for 12th. If you had studied really well, understood the concept in 12th, then that kind of mindset would have stick with you. But most of the people, like most of my batchmates, even me, I did not do that in 10th or 12th, or even till my final year. I was good in studies, that's okay, but I did not have that criticality, the critical thinking that was missing. And I did not like push my limits like all in a go at once. I did not do that. I remember that. I did put some effort, but this was missing. And once I did it, I mean, yeah, things really changed. So it's really important to do this once, try for it. I mean, make a goal and like forget about everything else and like try to focus on this one goal just once in your life, and you will always thank me, or yeah, you will always thank yourself for that. So that yeah, that's really important, I believe. I don't know, people have their own beliefs and way of thinking, but uh, if you take the first step, and if you have a goal, and if you are willing to like do the effort like this once in like putting all your efforts at once, then yeah, you are knocking on the door of success, definitely. So that's there. And there's one small thing that I want to talk about: relationships. So if you remember, I started the talk by saying that there are things that we ask successful people or our seniors or parents or elders, like what to do, how to do, what to do. But there are very few things that are example of what not to do and how not to do. And I believe at your age, when it is really required for you to acquire the skills, you have the gift of time. You should not be wasting it on relationships as such. Yeah, most of the people might think that, okay, this is coming from an older person, and yeah, he does not know about us. We are teenagers and we know our stuff. Okay, yeah, I give you that. But after 5 years, maybe you will realize this. The things that you cared for so much, the energy that you are wasting now so much, the money or the effort that you are wasting now so much, would not have given you anything in return. At your age, at the age of 18, 19, 20, think of the fact that uh, to be able to live these 20 years or 19 years or 18 years, how did you support your life? Did you do a single, like, how did you earn by yourself? How are you paying for your food? Or like, how are you eating? How are you surviving? I don't think there could be someone, but I believe that 95% of the people come into the category where their parents are supporting them even now. And it's not like foreign, where once you get out of the school, you go and look for part-time jobs and earn for yourself and pay for your college. You don't do that, right? In India, parents support us till we get the job. I know that my parents did that too. And that's where the realization has to happen, that if they are putting like 20 years for you, um, try to feed you and make you to a like go to a good school or a good college or whatever they can afford. Not everyone is as rich as you can think, but they always try to do that for you. And then at that moment, you have the gift of time, right? You are at the age of 19 and 20, and you have like 1 year ahead of you, 2 year ahead of you. You can acquire skill. Instead of that, if you are wasting that time in something else, it could be relationship, it could be gaming, it could be something else. But um think of the people who are not doing that. Just think about that. You are in MGR, maybe you are thinking, okay, my friend is also doing that and my roommate is also doing that. I think I'm fine. I'm better than those. I have a better mind and I know most of them, more stuff than those guys. Yeah, you're right. You might know that. But think about the people who are not wasting all of that time and trying to read something new, build something new, and they are going leaps and bounds ahead of you every day. They are doing that. So when I say that you have to have a goal, it does not have to be a goal in a far future. It could be a very simple goal. Just like take a standard book, take a standard technical book, and try to understand the concept. That could be your simple goal. And you should, I don't know, should you must invest time into doing that. Um, there are people who don't do that and yet get successful, or just go by. Life is very, how do I say, unpredictable, but it will, like, if you follow this, it will only increase your chances in getting successful. If not, um you could get successful in other ways, but if you do this, if you don't waste your time, if you put in efforts in the right direction, realizing how much effort people have put behind you, your teachers have, your friends have, your parents have, if you realize that, then that should give you enough motivation to use your time and like focus in the right place. And I don't think that will not land you into a successful location. that will definitely put you into a very, very positive place. People all around the country, you are just in MGR, think of it. There are around 600 or I don't know, more than that colleges in Tamil Nadu itself. And when it comes to India, like there are thousands and thousands of colleges, there are lakhs of students, and you are standing amidst all those students trying to compete for a job. So it's not a child's play. You can laugh about it. You can take my words and just throw it out of the window. That's okay. That's your choice. I don't have any say over it. That's your choice. But if you do it otherwise, if you do take this into consideration, take this as a good advice, I believe it would be very fruitful. And this age, 23 years, 113, it's just a random number. What I wanted to say is, be at a place where you think that you have done something good for yourself, for your confidence, first for your skills, for your parents, and then try to think about other things. Like, okay, if you have some other focus, like, okay, you want to get a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, yeah, do that. Obviously, humans do that. That's how we socialize. That's okay. But there's always a time to do the correct thing. And I believe at your age, at 18, 19, if someone would have said these things to me, oh, it would have been so much better. um, Luckily, as I said, I did not I always, how do I say, like, kept away from weird people. I did not do those things that other was doing. So uh, I'm thankful to, I don't know who I should thank most. Maybe my mom, because she told me all the good things all the time. So yeah, I did not do all those things, and I'm really thankful to my past. I mean, my past self, and I thank the past serpent to you that he utilized his time properly and is able to um, support my family now. And I don't know, like, stand in front of my teachers, my mentors, and be happy about the good times that I had. And this is a very special memory for me. Actually, this is a personal thing. So this is my graduation from IIT Bombay, and my father had an injury, as in an accident, and he still not drove. Basically, yeah, he hired a driver. That's okay, but yeah, he drove from my native place to IIT Bombay, and my parents came, and see the look on their face. I mean, this is something you can always look forward to for your parents. And I can tell this from my own experience, because I remember the look when I could not get through the gate exam. So, oh, this moment, this is really special for me. I hope that you guys find something special like this. You have that kind of motivation, and yeah, I hope that you guys are also successful in that sense. So please do keep this in mind. It's not about I'm saying that some things are bad or some things are good. I'm just trying to say that you have time, you have lot of time. Even if you think that you are not getting enough effort from your college, or not getting enough value from your curriculum, that's okay. You still have lot of time, you have lot of time. So please utilize that, and like, try to find some motivation, take the first step, and it should be really golden for you. In the end, I don't know. Thank me later for these. These are very basic things. Time management. I have already spoken a lot about it. Please read about many things. I don't know what you guys are doing in your spare time, but if you have some books, please read. And this is one more aspect which maybe we can talk about later. Maybe if we get into contact, but always try to save some money. It always pays off. You cannot expect like what could be a requirement in the future. There was a time when I did not have enough money to travel from my native place to Chennai in the beginning. So my mother gave me like 200 rupees, and we had a book ticket earlier, but that's all I had for a 24-hour journey. So um, yeah, I remember those times, because those kind of thing gives me motivation anyway. So that's why I keep telling, like, my friends are also, don't spend your time, like, all the money on your alcohol or stuff, and you can plan ahead and um, yeah, do some financial planning and stuff like that. But you guys don't have to worry about it. For you guys, it's always about time management and reading. Please do that. And there's one more thing, humility. I don't know how to acquire that, but if you can, please practice that as well. And there is a quote which I had picked up. I don't remember from where, but So usually after these kind of talks, or when you interact with someone with the concept that we are discussing now, things like this, um, we try to get very serious for the moment, in the moment, I used to do that, but I don't think that's the right answer, that's the right attitude. Instead of getting serious about something, you should be more sincere, and yeah, that pays the bills better than being serious. So I think that's all I have to share today. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. And I'm sorry, the slides were so many. I talked about things that were not, maybe not related to you guys, some personal stuff, but I hope there'll be some values for you guys there. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful section. It was very eye-opening for every student, sir. Sir, on behalf of our students, we have a few questions.
Right.
Kiran will address you, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I truly enjoyed your presentation. It's a fabulous presentation.
Glad.
I'm so glad I attended your session today. On behalf of students, I have some questions related about PSU, sir.
Okay. So what exactly is the question?
How to get into PSU?
Okay, so in India right now, to get into a PSU, there are a couple of ways. I think the process has changed a lot. In my times, it was like if you apply for GATE, if you get into like top 1,000 in your GATE exam, then you have the opportunity to apply for the PSUs, IOCL, ONGC, and big companies like that. So that was there. Um, right now, some of the companies have started their own exam, but I believe that if you study for GATE, it covers all the syllabus for those exams, so you can focus on that. And the goal should be like getting a rank under 1,000, so that guarantees you a chance for interview, and then you can go ahead and get the job.
And many of them have been asked, how did you prepare for the GATE exam
Okay,
and how
right,
did you
right.
start it?
Right. So, to be very honest, for the first time when I studied, I used. So there are some really good standard books that you can follow, which really helps. For every subject, for OS there is one book. For networks there is Tannenbaum, and like there are fixed books that you can follow, obviously. But in competitive exams, it's not just about the books and the concepts. It's about maintaining the timing also, because there are hard questions like 100 questions that you have to solve in a fixed amount of time, and it really becomes difficult. So that I realized in my first attempt, and in the second attempt I did take coaching. So there is an institute in Indore which I went to, and that was also accidental. I mean, I don't know. Basically, I failed the first time, and I went to meet my brother-in-law there just to take a break, and I wanted to come back and study. And there was this person in third year then, and he told me about yeah. So I am also preparing for GATE, and I was like, where? And so he told me about, okay, this is the institute I'm studying at, and I had never heard about that institute. If you search for it, most probably you will not find any results. I went there, I took a class, and I thought that, okay, if this is what is required, that the class was really good first of all, but I thought that, okay, this is an investment that I'm going to make, so that it pays off later. And as I told you that it was not a half-hearted attempt actually. I put in my 200% really, and I'm not a very smart guy. I know that. So for most of the average Joes out there, we do need to do that. And yeah, you can register for a good institute if you know that. If it is in your vicinity, try to go for that, because it's not because of the because they know something really different. It is going to be the same things that you pick from the book. It's just that they have some how do I say this, short techniques which improve your speed, and you can practice multiple things that in a class many people are asking many questions, and that you cannot think by yourself. So that really helps. So yeah, I would say that if you want to really want to go into higher studies and want to target GATE, you can look into a good institute where they are teaching you stuff. So yeah. you can do that.
So will NPTEL course certification will help for getting a job?
Okay, for jobs, right? Yeah, it does bring some quality to your resume. Because NPTEL courses are taken by IIT professors. The content is really good in itself, but this again comes to the same point that I said earlier. Even if you finish an NPTEL course and you're not able to explain that, like what you have learned out of that course, then like writing just that in your resume is not going to help. Because when you write something on your resume, the person in front of you, the interviewer, they are going to ask questions on that. I said that when you add a skill to your resume, it multiplies. It does not add. It multiplies your points. That's true. But then you have to justify that. So take an NPTEL course and practically do some practice. Make an application out of it, or whatever that course has. Most of the courses have some sort of assignments. Take those seriously. Finish those, and yeah, then it should give you enough confidence, enough skills to showcase during your interviews.
So do product-based companies need DS and Algo for, or can we join as a web developer or an Android developer for
Okay.
product-based companies?
Okay. So how do I say this? Wait. So for product-based company, uh, this is very fundamental thing. But wait. So in India, the recruitment still has a same method of how do I say? There's a fixed paradigm that is used every time. Even when I was preparing from my time to you guys, um, it's a fixed pattern. If it is, even if it is a product based company, and if it is a role for software development, web development, be it web development, they are going to ask you one algorithm question. That's for sure. They will definitely going to ask you that. If the job role is more related towards database, they are going to ask you an SQL query. That's there. It's a fixed thing. They don't have anything new to do, because that is what is required when you join the job. There is not much new to do there. So algo and data structures are required. There are a couple of sources that I can tell you about. If you guys have heard of HackerRank, go there and practice. It's a really nice platform. Note down HackerRank, and you might have heard of Geek for Geeks. So these are the two platforms that you can go into. Um, these are not something which discuss things in very detail, but you take one concept. There are like 4 5 pages on that concept, and you learn that, and that's it. LinkedIn, go and solve 5 questions. That's all you have to do. If it is Stack, go and solve some 7 questions, and that's all you have to do. So yeah, so Algo and DS are required. Obviously, that are required. That those are still the fundamental now, and they are going to be the fundamental coming into the future. So yes, you need to acquire those skills.
Is there any real scope for web developers?
Oh yes, lot of scope. The jobs. So if you remember the chart that I showed earlier, where the skills were listed and the number of jobs, there is, how do I define that? Okay, so all the jobs that are there now, based on the services that everyone is trying to build. Every company, be it HCL, Cognizant, or CTS, or Microsoft, or IBM, all the services have moved from desktop service to cloud service, which means that you have to start from web development. There's nothing else that you can do. There are no standalone applications now. Only financial institutions like HDFC Bank or Citibank, they have their own um, standalone applications. But apart from that, um, all the all the tech giants, all the tech companies, if you go there, you have to work on web development only. So it's actually the other question: is there anything else apart from web development? And the answer is no. It's mostly that. Plus, as I said earlier, there is AI, machine learning, things like that. But yeah, those are a little advanced. If you have special interest in those, you can focus on that. Um, you might need to take some special courses related to that, because it's not very easy, to be very honest. It's little complicated, but it's worth it. But yeah, when you ask the question about web dev, all the jobs are related to that. Yes.
So enhancing the skill or pursuing the degree is most important, which should be we should concentrate.
Skills.
Skills.
Yeah, because I know my friends who scored like 6-point GPA or 7-point GPA and are doing way ahead of all the people who scored 9-point GPA. So you can judge by that. You don't have.
Okay. Or doing an degree in MIT, like in IIT or NIT.
Oh,
Or
okay. So the importance of that, right? Yeah. Is there anything else? I mean, you were continuing something.
no, no, sir.
Okay. So um, doing the degree means what? First, you have to understand that it's obviously it's the brand, right? I said that if you go to an IIT, you have a brand, you have a tag that you can wear. You're an IITian. Yeah, that helps. But I cannot go and ask for a job related to ML now because I did not study for that, right? I did not do that in my MTech, in my masters. So if you say that okay, um, is the higher studies important? Yes, it is important because it gives you a platform. But did you learn something there? That's the question. If you did not learn something there, then yeah, it's waste. So but yeah, that having said that, if you go there, there's no other way, you have to learn. They make you do that. So oh, I forgot to tell you, in my first semester I failed, I think 3 out of 7 subjects in my first semester in IIT. Like that was a real shocker, but then I understood that okay, that's how the life there is. And you won't believe, I am talking about web dev now, right? I am working in that space. And the very first course that was related to web dev, I got a 0 in my first lab, as in 0, not even like one mark or 2 mark. So if I could have continued that way, not picked up the skill, being into IIT, I would not have gotten the job. If you go to a IIT like institute, you have the brand value, you have the like the launch pad because companies like Microsoft or Google or Facebook are coming there. Yes, you have that, but you have to acquire the skills when you are there. You cannot waste time there. And even if I wanted to, I could not because it was so much pressure. You if you go into an institute like this, there's nothing else you will do. You will get into that mindset of acquiring skills and study. So yeah.
So as an IT professional, um, like what about the cyber crimes and cyber security related? How do you think about it, sir?
Though so that space has a lot of scope, I can say, but I don't know. It's a specialized thing. For example, if you talk about robotics, it's obviously related to coding. You should know how to program things, but that requires a very different kind of skill set. For example, if you want to develop a game, so even though it is programming in a sense, but that requires a different mindset. And same goes for cybersecurity. Um, there is so I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of courses, not courses, but there are a specific skill set that you need to do, that you need to get if you want to work into that space. There is fraud prevention. Uh, there is a different, there is a very different scheme of things in hacking. So it's a very vast thing. It's a very vast space. So it's very hard for me to um, give enough importance to, well, like even to judge like whether we should give enough importance to that or not. But if you have interest in that, yes, it's a very fruitful field. If you want to go into government sector, then DRDO, ISRO is the place where they are doing a lot of things into this field, and there are a lot of private organizations as well. People are always looking into securing their services, and the essence of current web services is people's data. Um, I don't know if you follow some blogs, but if you do read, it's always about protecting the private data, personal data, and for that, this comes into place. There's a lot of fraud happening already. People have developed so many algorithms to protect that. They are still building now. People are doing researches, so it's a very vast field. I won't say that it's not important. It's very important. It's more than like more important than creating a web service, because you don't just create a web service, you have to protect it. So that's where cybersecurity comes in. But yeah, it requires a lot of motivation and a lot of thinking if you want to go into that field. I would say web dev is relatively easier than cybersecurity.
So is foreign countries having more IT services?
Yes, things are totally different. Yeah, it's very advanced actually. I realized it when I came here. Now that I have gotten a little used to it, but yeah, they have many IT services, things that we cannot think of, and sometimes it does not make sense. And I'm like, why do we want to have a service for that? For example, they have a service to for like for so when we want to get something right across the street, if there is a shop right across the street, you go there and buy it, right? But they have a service for that, like just across the street you can see the shop, but they have an app to get the stuff from there. So I don't know if it makes sense. It does not make sense for me, but yeah, that kind of things. People are getting lazy, I believe. So there is a scope of creating new uh, IT services and web services all the time.
So what are we lacking in engineering in India?
Hmm.
What are the students like? Engineering students are lacking, like compared to other countries.
Um, I don't think people are lacking anything because I will tell you.
As you said, we have a lot of engineering colleges, we have a
Right,
lot of students studying engineering, but
right.
still we are lacking.
I don't think it's because of the colleges. I mean, obviously, we can play the blame game and say that yeah, the college is not good. I could have said that. You can say that, and to some extent it might be true. It could be true, because there are better colleges, there are always better colleges, there are elite institutes. Yeah, there is some difference, I can understand that, but that is not stopping from like stopping you from studying, right? When I go out there in a foreign office and I am representing India, so I have to make sure that I bring equal value to their table, and I cannot put a bad name for India, and that goes for everyone else who is working in big companies or foreign as a foreign national into all the big companies, because we have a responsibility to carry our name, and we are like not me. I don't know about me, but people are doing really good. Um, you can take example of Google CEO. So he's an Indian and he has built a name for. So obviously, if you go to a good institute, you have that launch pad, but nobody is stopping you from learning something. That's the main point here. Um, we can always blame on situations. We can always blame on circumstances, but the first person that you should blame is yourself. If you are wasting Okay, there's an app in your Android phone that you can install, and it will track how much time you are using for which application. And if you are wasting like more than 30 minutes on Facebook every day, so then you cannot start blaming that okay, Indian engineering system is not good, or the colleges are not good. So if you are wasting that much time on social media or things like that, then who else has to who else has to bear the blame? That's the question. And if you say that if we are lacking something, uh, maybe we can have a more practical and more logical curriculum. Um, it's I finished those 64 courses when I was in MGR, but I think that when I went to IIT, I could see the difference. I used to get more than 95 marks in MGR throughout my all the 8 semesters. I was like sort of topper in my college, but when I went to IIT, I failed in all like most of the subjects, and I was like, "What's happening?" So the difference was in the critical thinking, the logical aspects. We still follow the very bookish method of teaching. That could change, that can change, and expecting that from our teachers or from college management is a good thing. Yes, we should, but I think that even if it is not there, you can do it. You can do it, as in you can do it, Kiran. So, and same like your classmates can also do that. Stop expecting from others. Do a very small thing, like do the first step that I was talking about. If you want to learn something, just take the first step, go towards it, and like continue that. And after maybe 1 year, you will be telling this to your juniors that okay, I did that and that really helped me. And I once asked my senior like, is there something lacking in my college or maybe engineering system, but I changed that. So yeah, you can bring that change.
Okay, sir. Is C++ enough for job in future?
No, I don't think so. C++ is, it's not that there are not enough jobs related to C++, but if you are good enough to know C++, you are better off with Python, I would say. And learning Python takes like not more than 30 days. I don't know how to say that enough. I started that very late actually. I had an opportunity in IIT Bombay. I did not. I like sort of evaded it, but I picked that up now, and it is really paying well. Um, so if you know C++, you I think you are good enough to understand Python. It's just a change of syntax. So please look into that. All the jobs that are coming from now, it is not going to be based on C++. Only the older systems, only the legacy systems will have because they have a lot of code and a lot of data in the systems. They are still following that, but the new jobs will always be based on the web dev languages like JavaScript, Python, and Golang. Golang is a little difficult, but I can say that for sure. If you start with Python, then you can, yeah, go ahead and showcase that as a very good skill.
Can one programming language would be enough for getting a job? Any one programming
Yes,
language?
yes, that's enough. Because eventually in the interview they'll ask you like, okay, which programming language do you know? And you'll say, okay, I know Python or C++, whatever. You can say that. And mostly they'll give you an algorithm question, and you should be able to think about that and write a code. That's all it is. If you do that, you're selected. It's very simple. I'm getting into the interview these days, and there would be a few data structure related questions, but for that, instead of me telling you about it in 5 minutes, it's better you look into HackerRank and Geek for Geeks. Please, someone note that, and please look into that. There are a lot of good resources there just to crack a good job, and it's not just about a job in Infosys or HCL or CTS. You study there for three months and apply for Amazon, and you get a job there, and they'll pay you like 10 lakhs per annum or 12 lakhs per annum and more than that. So yeah, that's really possible. People did that in my batch. They did that. So I don't find a reason why you cannot do it. If you're not doing it, it's just because of you. You don't want to do it. That's all I can say.
So, higher studies, studying in developed countries like USA, Australia, and UK, or India, which would be better?
Mm, that's a difficult question because I have not studied in USA. A few of my friends have. I remember one of my friend who went to UK. Um, he finished his masters there, but I don't know why, but he could not. I don't really know the reason, but he could not do very well after that, and he came back to India and yeah, cracked the job and whatever. So he's working fine, but I don't think that it it is much of a difference. If I don't know which college you are targeting. First of all, if you are targeting a very elite institute that requires a whole set of preparation, you need to attempt GRE, and you need to have recommendation from your professors, and it's a very complicated process. It's a very tough process to get into a good college in foreign universities. Um, but if you are willing to put that much effort, I think you can put enough effort to get into GATE and crack that and get into IITs or even NITs, triple ITs, and you'll be way better off. Um, if I don't want to discourage any of you who has asked this question, if you are thinking about cracking um the big institute in foreign, it really pays off well because eventually it's about the platform, and that college is going to give you that platform where good companies come. So in that sense, it's really good. But make sure that you have enough financial backing. Make sure that you have enough preparation that you can go and survive there. There's going to be a large gap between the how do I say the things that you have acquired now and the things that they are going to teach into higher studies. So be prepared for that. So yeah, it does add a value, but just be prepared financially and mindset wise.
Okay, sir. What was the question asked when you placed at the Yahoo?
Okay, that's a good one. Right. So I was asked two questions. One was related to array manipulation. So basically, like, do I remember it? So other was yeah. So the second question was a distorted merge sort. Like about merge sort, right? Merge sort. So
Oh, sir.
okay. Oh, that's bad. So now, Kiran, you have to go and look into Geeks for Geeks. Start. Okay. Wait, before I tell that, because that's not important, this is in Geeks for Geeks or Hacker Rank, there are various levels of what you should study, right? There are introductory tracks as in they have fixed set of questions, like 30 questions that you can start from, like printing hello world to create something really complicated. So you start doing that, and I think in fourth or fifth lecture it would be about sorting, and that's where merge sort is. So they had asked me about a distorted merge sort, and they wanted to code that. So yeah, I don't know how to explain that. It would take another 1 hour to explain that anyway. And there was one more question about array. There was a long, like there was, if given an array, I had to manipulate something and find some element, and it was not like simple binary search or linear search, something like that. There was some manipulation related to hash table, so I had to store some entries from array to hash table and like get the value from there. And these things might not make sense now, but please go look into Geeks for Geeks and look for the job preparation module that they have. It's free, by the way. HackerRank, it's free. Both of them are free. And look into the job preparation module, and these kind of things will be covered there. Everything will be covered there. So, yeah.
So, for a person who's not much familiar in programming, what should he learn first?
Okay.
And which is the best platform for him?
That's a difficult question because that's a difficult question because of many things. Learning programming. So there are two aspects to programming actually. One is syntax and one is understanding the algorithms. So if someone says that they are not good with programming, I don't know what they are talking about. If it is about syntax, then some people say it's very easy. Like many of my friends, I told you about Shank, right? So he'll say that okay, learning syntax is very easy. And for me, that's the most complicated thing, like picking up a new syntax. I just hate it. I mean, I don't know how much I hate it, like picking a new syntax. So that could be one thing. The other thing is understanding the algorithm, the basic idea behind the program that you are building. So if you are finding difficulty in that, then you should follow a good book. There are really nice books on algorithms. Maybe I can give a list to the faculty and they can share with you later, so you can look into that. But if it is related to syntax, it varies with people. For most people it's easy. For me it was not. It is not still now. If I'm given a new language, even though I understand the concept, I get stuck a lot in the syntax. So if someone says that they are not sure if they are good in programming, first judge which is the aspect that you're lacking. If it is the algorithms, if you don't understand the concepts well, you should first put some time there, try to understand that, and then you can move to syntax.
So, can we get job opportunities after the global economic crisis?
You mean the pandemic situation that we are facing now?
I'm not sure exactly what they mentioned, but
Okay. So in the pandemic situation, yeah, things have changed a lot. But I think like, to be very brutally honest, it is going to be really tough because I stated this earlier in the talk. If you just think about the competition, you are like 100 guys in your batch, I suppose, and that's just one college. And then it comes to Tamil Nadu, which has like 600 colleges, and then you have like thousands and thousands of colleges. So in that sense, when you think about those numbers, obviously it is really tough. It is going to be much tougher because oh, you know that more like many companies here and also in India, they have started, like they have stopped uh, like renting the offices, and they are asking their employees to work from home, which means that they are trying, like not trying, but eventually it will come into a state where number of people that are required are going to get less. So yeah, obviously if you think in that terms, yeah, it's difficult, obviously. But the next question is, what should you do? You can keep thinking about that, like that things are going to get difficult. Obviously you can do that. The other thing that you can do is go and study. So I would say that do the other thing, not think about how difficult it is going to be after pandemic. It is going to be difficult. I cannot lie to you that okay, yeah, everything is really easy and being successful is really easy. Success means different things to different people. Obviously, the way to achieve it is different. That's right. But one thing which is common is putting in your effort. And for students, it's studying, equivalent to studying. So please do that. So you don't have to think about other things.
so will cyber forensic have a great future?
I cannot comment on that because, sorry, I am really sorry whoever has asked that question. I don't have enough knowledge to comment on that, so I don't want to. say anything about
So, exactly, we are in a digital era now.
it. Right.
Are we so vulnerable, like to the global?
The in terms of vulnerability, what I see, what I have observed, that the essence of all the services which are being developed, which are being given in front of people, it's all about data, as in your personal data, as in where you live, what are your preferences. If you know about machine learning, I don't know if you know about it, but if you know about machine learning, so there is a system which gets many inputs and then it processes it, and based on the input it gives you some suggestions. For example, if you have bought something in Amazon before or Flipkart before, it will try to track that, like what kind of things that you have looked for, what is the price range that you always look for, what is the kind of clothing that you always look for, things like that. There are many factors. They process all of it, and then they the next thing that you see next time is based on all of this, all of these preferences. The next time you see a jeans which is of blue color and it's skin tight, it's because you select, like, you had a preference set which matched this product. So most of the services are based on this thinking process, and the core itself is the data. So if you say that is it vulnerable, yes, because it's all private data, right? I don't want my preferences to be known to all the other world, like everyone else. And if I'm using a service, I believe in that service because I believe them to protect my data. And if a company is not able to do that, then they lose their customers forever, and there's no turning back from there. It's gone. So in that sense, yes, it is vulnerable. But if you mean by in sense of hacking and all, then yeah, that's a different story. But when you talk about web services, they are vulnerable because it's all about data in their heart, and they have to protect it. So yes.
So, what do you think about the security service provider? Like, like they provide security for your data.
So I don't know what that means, security provider, because we are not talking about antivirus, I suppose. But when we say about data, it, like, usually people don't give it in others' hands. There are, right. So there is a concept of data center. Let me get into that. So um, when you, like, when you start a service, you have to put your code somewhere. You buy a space and, like, rent a space and put your code inside it, and the users all over the internet are trying to access this service. So they have multiple requests coming in into this service, right, into this hardware. So this hardware used to be servers somewhere in India, somewhere in USA. Before, it used to be like that, but now it has shifted to cloud. Does not mean it's not hardware anymore. It's still hardware, but the way it is organized is different. It's like an infrastructure is sold as a service. So this is an infrastructure that I'm talking about. This is the hard disk where the code will be stored. Some companies, maybe if you open a company, your code will be stored in this hard disk. Some, like, another code will be stored in some other hard disk, and this is all inside a big huge data center. So when it comes to security, it's not that the owner of this data center is going to ask someone else to build a security. Yeah, people do that. Obviously, people pay for that, but like most of the times, the people who are building these data centers are securing those using various algorithms. And things in cyber, not cyber security, but things in general in terms of security have improved so much. Uh, there, yeah, initially it used to be storing passwords in database. That's how we used to develop systems, right? When we make some management system, library management system, we have a user, we have a password, we store it in a system, and when someone tries to log in, we verify from that database, and yeah, verify. But now things have changed. It's not just plain text password stored in a database. Nobody does that now. It has changed to Java tokens. You don't go with the password. You ask for a token from some authority. You get the token, and then interact with the service. So these kind of things have really come up, and I don't know what the question, the person who has asked the question meant with that. But if it is related to securing the web services, it's very unlikely that the person, like the company who is building a data center, will hire someone else to protect it. They will implement their own algorithms to protect it.
That was my personal question, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Uh, So okay, sir. That's all the questions, sir. And
Okay,
thank you for your valuable time, sir.
it's okay. I'm glad if it helps. I just hope that I might have said some negative things, but I just want you guys to focus on the positives. And really, I mean, I don't know how to convey this, but I can see the difference in how people interact with you after you have become like something, if you have achieved something. So I'm not saying that I have done enough. Obviously, I don't feel that when I say that I have fear of failure. I'm a really insecure guy in that sense because I see people moving ahead so fast. My colleagues, they still now they like acquire skills like anything, like very fast. And I always believe, like I always feel that I'm getting left out. My friends, they are doing so many things. So I'm still not done, and I can still see that okay, people are looking up to me. That's just because they have a different way of defining success. For you, it would be acquiring a job, but when you achieve that, you will understand that okay, this is not the place. You can go much higher. So you should always aim for that. That kind of mentality is not just after one session, or it's not just a thing of magic. That requires some practice. But I believe that every one of you can do that because I was an average person and I I sort of did it. So I believe that yeah, you all of you can do that too.
So there's one final question.
Yes, please go ahead.
What is the best project for web development for final in e-commerce website?
Okay, there is no one winner in that sense, but oh, um, so think of any like okay, so
I hope that this is depend upon the market strategy. It may be get ups and downs will be there, depends upon the things. Is it
yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah, right,
So that
Sir.
that we cannot able to predict that this is the time it will be strict on to that. I think when you are studying, no, the e-commerce will be grooming. Nowadays, it's not that much huge business onto that. Is it no?
Um, uh, I don't know, sir. I think e-commerce is still a very big thing.
Yeah, it's
How do
big
I
thing.
say?
But we can't able to spot out some XYZ is the
Oh
targeting or
yeah.
something.
Exactly. We
We could not
cannot.
able to find out this is the thing is
Right.
grooming on the e-commerce. Is it no?
Right. That's true.
So
That's
they
true.
shouldn't be survey and fix the things what has to be doing further. Is it no?
Yeah, that or you if it is about learning because obviously like any idea that comes to your mind. Oh, okay, you want to automate this thing. Maybe automate. Basically, I'll tell you. Wait, one example. There is a startup now which sells coconut water, as in not the raw coconut water, as in bottled coconut water. And it's not an IT thing, but it's a good example of thinking into what could be showcase as a service. You get the nariyal pani, the coconut water outside in to a vendor, but you can order that as well, and people have created that. So you can think about a service that you want to automate, and that could be a really good idea. You don't have to ask me or anyone else. Obviously, if you just go and search in the Google, there will be like 20 or 30 services that you can start with. Um, just do that. Yeah, just do a Google search and like what is the basic web services that I should be building to in order to learn Python or whatever in Python or in JavaScript. You'll have many suggestions there. But if you want to build something for yourself, look for a solution that you want to automate, and that could be your web service.
Okay, Kiran, any more questions?
No,
Srinidhi,
no, sir.
you can lead. You can lead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to call our department alumni coordinator, Kripa Devi Madam, Department of Computer Science Engineering, to speak few words.
Hi.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Oh, so
Very
long. It has
nice.
been so
Very
long.
glad. Very glad to meet you, Arpan.
Oh,
I'm
it
very
has been
happy
8 years.
for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I should say, like, I feel very proud. I was literally admiring the way you were giving your presentation and really very happy. I believe I'm meeting you after around
8
8
years.
years, right?
Yeah.
8 years. Okay, it was very good. I should admit that you have gone a long way, and still you remain the same. I should admit it. Okay, before I start, I'll show you a presentation.
Uh, uh, Kripa, 1 minute. Arpan,
Yes, sir.
thanks for all your support. Actually, I have another work to be done.
Oh, yes.
So I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
So
Sir,
that's my-
thank you for coming for the session. It was really nice to talk to you after so long. I
Thank you
hope
very
we can talk again later.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Kripa, you can continue. Kripa.
And thank you, sir. Thank you. This is actually for our second year students who have joined recently for third semester. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic, we could not meet them personally. So just
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this lab. Oh, we had Augusta till 17. Nice. 16.
um,
Nice
actually,
memories.
uh, sorry, I will stop my presentation. Actually, this I prepared yesterday only. I got a note. I saw the flyer. Your name was there. I was literally happy. Actually, this is an alumni lecture series which should have happened in college.
Okay.
We do it regularly. We call two, for every year, we call at least two alumni guests, and we'll ask them to give lecture. So if you see, I have written like
Right.
we have a series, alumni lecture series, under which we do this. So it should have been in our college, and we should have seen you directly. But unfortunately,
Yeah, no, it's okay.
we are meeting you virtually, and literally, I am feeling very happy.
Same here, ma'am.
This yeah, this actually I should say. I want to tell, before telling about you, I want to tell like for our second year students who have joined recently in the third semester, and we couldn't meet them because of this pandemic. We started the semester, and we started our classes, online classes, but we could not see physically. Even we don't know who, a single person also I don't know, I have not met, but still we are taking classes. So for them, I need to say, department is associated with alumni in various occasions. As we have seen in this PPT, we are getting along with them in so many reunions. We generally connect to them by, we have something like a decennial reunion where um, the batch which is completing 10 years will be coming and meeting, and we will have a fun. I do remember this decennial meeting because I remember the students. So I'm here long for 14 years, so I do remember this. But also we have a silver jubilee reunion where we call people or the batch who are completing 25 years as alumni with us. So it is like, apart from that, we do conduct honor our alumni by calling them as chief guest for a valedictory of our Techestra. If I remember, the Techestra is still a more sought event, or how to say, a favorite event in our university.
That's great.
Right, every time we celebrate it as a festival there, and it is a pride that it is coming from CSE department. And I should say, So this is all about. Apart from that, we do associate with alumni, like in inspections. Whenever we have inspection, whenever we have some alumni lecture meetings or something like for motivating students, whenever we connect to any of the alumni and we do interact with the people. So we have a thick bonding with us with alumni, and we need to make it strength. We need to make it more thicker. That is what we expecting. I have a request for you. Now it is 2020. When it comes to 2022, I want you people to plan and come here united. At least 50% should come here. I know like 80% around are somewhere in the world. All were North Indians. I believe your batch, most of them were North Indians.
Yeah.
So at least you should plan sometime in 2022. You people arrange and you manage yourself. I have seen that sport in you. As you have led the Techasta, like you have to lead this also. We are expecting this.
Okay, I cannot promise that, ma'am, but okay, I will try to.
Anyhow, somewhere in 2022, somewhere.
Okay.
We'll have a fun decennial meet. That's what I can say, right? Hoping to see you more. So actually, I have something to say about my student. I'm very proud that I have taken class for Mr.Arpan Bhagat. He may be anything somewhere in the world, no, but still I feel I treat him as a student. So I'm really proud to have you amongst here for our students, and there is a lot of things to learn from him. That is sure for everybody in today. This generation have to learn that. That is what I still, and I really appreciate your parents for growing you up in that way. And moreover, I should say, when I think about you, certain things, certain buzzwords will come into my mind, like you are a person with positivity. Always you will be positive. You will be passionate towards something. If you are passionate, you are really focused till you reach the goal. I have seen that because I have seen you coordinating among like 5 or 6 section students in the Techasta, and you have led that event in a successful manner. Still, we are saying like Arpan was one of our heroes during that time. You may admit like you are a subtle person, you are a normal person, but it is not so. That is what I want to say. I want to just I could not say how to express my happiness, but I'm still very happy. Wherever you are, whatever you are, congratulations to all. Everything happened because of your hard work, and I wish you all the success. Hope you have a long way to go. Thank you for being in this event today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, actually, it is not for the event or something like that. It is all from my heart, like sincerely. You said something right. It is not important to be serious. It is important to be sincere, and I have seen that sincerity in you. Everybody should learn that. So all the best. Keep rocking.
Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, ma'am gave me some time for. I don't know what she expected, but I did in a
different
way.
No. It's everything went on well. Really, I have to thank the pandemic. Otherwise, getting Arpan is very, very tough. We cannot see him in person. No. That's what Kripa has requested you to 2022. You all have to visit us, yes, for your decennial reunion. So that too you have not given promise. I'll try. You just told
it's
I'll try
promise,
myself.
Ma'am.
Yes, yes, that's what. So really, I have to thank the pandemic situation to make you to connect with us, and really, students had a very good conversation with you. I hope, because lot of questions, too many questions. Even I didn't during our live session. They will not have this kind of a question. They'll simply come and sit and watch what the guy is delivering, and simply they'll get up and go off. But today, lot of questions. I told him, why don't you stop it, ma'am? There are too many questions are coming on the way. That's what I'm interacting with him. He's also more energetic to give an answer for the questions. That's what really happy. But no words. Again, no words to conclude. So I wish many things has to come in your way.
I hope the same thing happens.
All your dreams should come in it.
Yes.
So if you guys
Thank
feel
you.
that
Thank you, Arpan.
I can help you in any way, if you have any more queries, you can send messages. Maybe I'll share my contact with the coordinators later, so it's okay. If yeah, obviously it's a time crunch thing, but if I have time, I'll definitely try to answer those. So I hope you guys can take the positivity out of this session, and please believe in yourselves, believe in your teachers, because they have been doing this job for I don't know, like 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they know how to bring good things out of you. And you can say like that, I mean, for them, it's just a 4 years interaction, right? I mean, for you, it's 4 years, but they have to do it all over again every time. So it's not for their benefit. If they are saying something good, please take that seriously. That might help you. Um, as I said earlier, all the advices you don't have to take, but if it is good, if you can think that is going to help you in some way, please do take that advice and move with that kind of mindset. And I do believe that you will all be successful.
Thanks, Arpan. Thanks. Okay. So, Srinidhi, you take us.
Thank you, madam. Now I could like to call Ranga Reddy, BTech CSE third year, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
It was a great session, sir, and the information which you gave was awesome. And it was a great, inspiring story which you have passed these 10 years. And the information which you gave about the career was great. And I think everyone should learn from your story and your career path. And it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I would like to thank you, our chief guest, Mr. Arpan Bhagat, sir, for having accepted our request to be amazed on this day and shares his knowledge with us. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. S. Geeta, for making her presence felt on this occasion. Next, I would like to thank our association convener, Dr. Victor Sudha George, and organizing secretary, Mr. Syed Ali sir and Mrs. Satya ma'am, and our uh, Krupa Devi ma'am also, for having allotted the time to be with us despite their busy schedule. Finally, I would like to thank our managing and department for arranging a guest lecture for us, which indeed has enriched our knowledge. And I also thank the students for their cooperation. I hope that we have been many more such guest lectures in future. Once again, I would thank you one and all for making this occasion a grand success. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all the students those who involved yourself to making this event as a grand success. But you have forgot one person.